Ladies and gentlemen, as I walk in the streets this night and I'm thinking about you and all that you've been promised and what you've been given, and I contrast that with what you have received, and I'm listening to the political parties speak. Well, for many of us, the Republican Party spoke, and it spoke very loud. There's no question about the message that they have sent, and we got it quite well. And the Democrats, their history is just a teeny weeny bit better than that of the Republicans. But we've gone through some changes now. We've gone through some major changes. We've had a pandemic that's been on the floor, kicking, on every door. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are, it'll grab you. And then we've had hatred manifesting itself through murder. One most major case was George Floyd. And it was so cold, so evil, that it caused waves of disgust, not just in America, but across the globe. People were identifying with the same kinds of persecution at one level or another. And they were saying that we stand together. We stand together against all of these kinds of things. So be strong, you're not alone. And so the people hit the streets saying we're tired, we're disgusted with this, and nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. The system has failed us, and we're disgusted. And when they took to the streets doing what they have been taught to do through the actions of the system itself, the system came down, pepper sprayed them and beat them, and put them in jail, did everything they could except make changes. They did decide to take down some statues, and everything over these months seems to be kind of settling down just a little bit, especially with this thing about the Democratic Party and Biden, and man, oh man, oh man, Miss Harris is going to be something else. And so it almost makes it seem godly to say vote for the Democrats, that a vote for the Democrats is a vote for God, because when you listen to them speak, they say the same things that I say. The difference in you and myself is that you've heard that 1,000 times, and you're hoping that this time it'll work. When it comes to me, I know it can't work. It can't work because they don't know how to make it work. And that being the case, they'll try this, and like everybody else, they'll fall short. And then the promises will be made again 4 years from now. But I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that in order to come up with the solution to these problems, we got to step outside of the box. You see, everything in the box is designed to keep everything in the box. You know what the Constitution is all about? It's about control. It's about manipulation. And all the laws, rules, and regulations are designed to maintain that. When a person takes public office, sitting in seats of power, they take an oath saying that they are going to uphold the basic tenets of the existing order. And so reaching out for them, expecting them to bring about the changes that are required to meet the needs of you, the people, you got to recognize that in order for that to happen, you got to be the boss. No one is speaking for you. When the Congress goes and sit at the table and get locked in some bull, we the people, we don't need the Congress to speak anymore. We speak for ourselves. This is what we're saying we want, and we gotta have it. And you justify it, us not having it. See, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you this. And if I got enough minutes, let's see. Let me tell you this. I want you to imagine with me, if you would, that there are 5 billion people on the earth, and everybody's sitting still. Nothing is going on, but there are 5 billion people on earth, everywhere, scattered about. And every last one of them requires food to survive. Every last one of them, 5 billion of them require food. 5 billion of them require shelter. 5 billion of them want to engage themselves in education. And 5 billion of them require at one point in time or desire to have it available to them as health care. Now, for 5 billion people, each of them have some type of requirement within each of these categories. Now, what do these 5 billion people have to offer? Because the resources are here. What do they have to offer in order to benefit from these resources to meet these needs? Well, 5 billion of them got careers that they just love to engage themselves in. 5 billion of them got this going on, ladies and gentlemen. 5 billion of them. Many of them are doing the same things. Many of them are doing different things. But at the same time, when you put them all together, they produce each and every item that is required for their survival. They all did it. They all played a part in it. And it was the wonderful part they played because they got a chance to play themselves. They didn't have to be anybody else. And they were appreciated. And everything that existed and everything that exists belonged to them. And they can access it anytime they want to. You see, this is the way that we, the people of the opposite of evil, evil jumped on the man out there, and all kind of people jumped on it. Let's get them to jump on good, to do wonderful things, not just for ourselves because we are blessed and we kind of learn to love, but because we want to teach love. And that's done by loving. Loving is given to those what they do not deserve. They deserve the worst you can imagine, but you give them the best that you have. Wow. And this is what we got to be about, ladies and gentlemen. So when we put the Democrats in office, we are not expecting them to come unfolding some plan about what they think is important to this nation. We're going to tell them, and we have just spoken, that everybody in this nation must have access to food, clothing, and shelter. And this they should never be denied any unless God stops allowing things to be produced. Shelter, education, and health care. And every last one of us have a career of our own choosing. This must be guaranteed. Everybody across the nation must agree with that. And we must educate our voices in Washington, the legislators, yes, the House and the Senate, and say to them what is important and what is required of us. And we're speaking with one voice. One voice. And if they can't take care of that, then we can. We got to make sure that the Democrats don't play any games on us, don't play any tricks on us, Biden and Miss Harrison, if they get this position, they can be the voice for the nation if they speak for the nation. But I don't know, with the speaking for the same old game that's been played, that's over. Do I get an amen? I want to thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for sharing this with me. And until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye. Baby, don't even want to stop, does it? Ooh-wee. Man, oh man, oh man. What's going on, baby? Something must have happened.